Hey, good afternoon, and welcome back to another episode of the Tuesday Lunch Hour podcast here with Conan, Creative Arts and Communications Director here at Victory Lutheran Church. And we're so glad that you're here with us today. Man, we have a lot of stuff coming up. Not only just today and this week. I mean, we got Thanksgiving next week, but man, we're talking this Saturday. We have the Rhythm and Revival Tour coming here to Victory Lutheran Church here in Jamestown, North Dakota. And then in the coming weeks, we even have Aaron Schust and some other guys coming to Jamestown here, specifically at the Ryland Arts Center in December 13th. We're going to be talking about that also. But today, I'm really excited. We have a special guest. This is a guy I met over the summer at Thrivefest. And, man, just hearing his heart for worship and just the heart behind the music. Also, guys, you guys got to hear the voice. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful sound, what they're putting out. And really excited to have Brandon Monson joining us from Presence Music.
Beam me up.
Joining me on camera right now, we have Brandon Monson from Presence Music. Brandon, welcome to the show. Thank you for being with here today. Man, how are you guys doing?
Doing great. Very busy, but very blessed. Normally when someone asks me, I say I'm busy, but blessed. But now it is very busy, very blessed, which is we're moving in the right direction. Yeah. So excited to be here. You guys long time listener, first time caller.
Man, are you serious? You guys listen to us?
Well, as of when you told me I was going to be on it, just very recently. So, but I think I'm going to have to be a reoccurring one.
I think so. I think that's safe to say. So, Brandon, I wanted to ask you this. I've been asking a lot of people these random different questions, but I'm curious. Who do you think would win in a fight between a taco and a burrito? And we're talking hard-shell taco.
Okay, man, that is a tough one and definitely a normal question. That I think something I think about every day, and I'm not even just stalling for time to think of something. You know what? If I'm thinking about Taco Bell, which I can throw a rock at from my house, just about, I can actually check in the app from my house, which is kind of a weird flex, as the kids say. The hard-shell tacos, quite brittle, and there's almost nothing in there. So sorry if you guys are sponsored by Taco Bell. I'm not sure if you are. But no. The soft shell tacos, though way more wet than you would want, are quite a bit more substantive, and I think they would win in a fight. So they're not as tough, but there's a lot more to them. Much like myself, I'm about 210. So, maybe I could beat up Manny Pacquiao, even though he's a lot better fighter, but like 100 pounds, so yeah. That's my answer.
All right. I respect that. Another question that has been raised, and now I got to ask you this before I ask you this question. Are you a Lord of the Rings fan?
I guess it depends on the definition of fan. I've seen all 6 of the movies. If I got the number wrong, I guess
there's 6 if you count The Hobbit, right?
Yeah. I've seen them probably all 2-3 times.
Yeah.
I haven't maybe read half of one of the books in high school. Played a few of the games. So I would say maybe a fan, but not a super fan.
Yeah, that's fair. Would you say you're a fan of Harry Potter?
Oh, man, this is a church podcast, right? Is the answer right, supposed to be no? I would say similar. I've seen all the movies once. Maybe I've seen some of them twice. The only book I read is the good book, which is actually partially true, but just for lack of just reading overall. So I would say maybe similar fan, not a super fan.
Okay. All right. So yeah, this one probably wouldn't connect with you, so we might not use that one. But
we could try. I mean, run it by me. We can always do a pass.
Well, the question we've been asking, and this is kind of stemmed from our youth director here. He's been asking everyone, like, do you see, I guess the question being, which do you prefer as a point of like being just an overall, like just a really good either story or like novelization? Do you think Harry Potter's good or better than Lord of the Rings. And then the argument that I feel like I hear is Lord of the Rings is just overall just a much better story. And it's like a timeless thing. Like it branches so many different generations, whereas Harry Potter is like very much a millennial, like Gen Z type thing where like,
And you're talking just the books, or if you include the movies and
a lot of people will kind of include mostly just the books.
Okay.
For me, like I love Lord of the Rings, but like I wouldn't say it's like, oh my gosh, this is like the most amazing thing ever. Like I love Lord of the Rings, don't get me wrong. I love the allegories and like the illustrations that the
Are
author
you a
uses.
huge Harry Potter guy then?
I do like Harry Potter, yes, but
Okay, no
I
judgment.
also see for me, like Harry Potter, I do look for more of like the gospel trends in that, where it's like good versus evil, but it is very much like in the same vein as like.
Isn't it just Star Wars again, or no?
Yeah, I mean, like that could be the argument. There is like
I
it
have
kind of
heard that.
just
I hope that's
seems
not offensive.
it's
That's
it,
just Star Wars again.
but honestly, like that's kind of what it boils down to. And then even people could say the same thing about Lord of the Rings in a sense, where it's like it's almost like Star Wars again, except for I don't
Lord
know.
of the Rings predates. I do have a good answer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say I haven't read enough of the books, but I would say, based on the answer you just said, Lord of the Rings is more timeless. Yeah, so I would say Lord of the Rings gets the win on the books. I have seen all of the movies, including the newer Harry Potter ones. I would still say Lord of the Rings gets not. You just can't match the scale and the awe of watching some of those big battles in Lord of the Rings. You know, at least for me, memorable. And I've seen the Harry Potter ones more recently. But what I remember, what sticks with me, is those big Lord of the Rings battles.
Right. Helm
They,
Deep, man, was something else.
yeah, I mean, there's one in, nothing maybe to write home in The Fellowship. It's a great movie, but there's one or two in the next two. I guess there's one of the Hobbit ones has a pretty big one too. But basically, it's so it's the movies there, and then what I have played. I mean, 4 or 5 or 6 Lord of the Rings games, and I've played the one big Harry Potter one, start to finish, and I would give Lord of the Rings a huge edge on the games.
Okay.
Moderate edge on the movies, and a slight edge on the book. So I'm going to say Lord of the Rings takes the crown
Yeah,
on all,
that's a good point.
all across the board. So
Brandon, you mentioned games. Are you you're a pretty big gamer?
I would love to be a pretty big gamer as far as time in the kit, so to speak. I've had, Xboxes and all the Nintendos, and I really was a PlayStation guy. I used to do PC gaming, like was a big RuneScape online guy back
Oh
in
my
the
gosh! Now you're taking me back.
not like any of the good ones, not like World of Warcraft or anything like that. Just the obscure one, and we just stuck with it, man. But my brothers stuck with it way longer. But anywho, so I don't have any time. The time that I get with games now is in the car, going to music stuff, when I'm not driving. So I like probably 2 hours a week. So that means I have a Nintendo Switch too. And that is what I get. So currently playing. I have the new Pokemon sitting there on the shelf. Just finished the new Donkey Kong. Currently playing Bravely Default 2 HD. So
That's awesome.
big long time gamer. Yes, I am a occasional gamer who wishes that I was still a big gamer, because
Yeah.
I miss the biggest moment of my life. It's like following Jesus, coming to know Jesus, marrying my wife. After that, just like a hair under, and my kids, but maybe even above the kids, don't tell them, would be LAN party, Halo parties. That is like a core memory that just kind of stays with me, so.
When did you graduate high school, Brandon?
Oh, wait.
Oh my
It was
gosh! Yeah,
right in the heyday, buddy.
dude,
So,
you and me are like the same exact age. I'm class of '09 here, but
okay.
yeah, I remember those days very, very fondly of just hanging out with friends in the basement. And man, gosh, that is so.
A lot of garages outside, with the door open in the summer. I mean, we're talking 4 of them connected, 16 player, man. It was, take me back. So, Awesome. Well, I was told this is a fashion design podcast, so I'm just wondering when we're going to get to talk about those really large worship leader flat brim hats. I'm wondering when that's coming. So
Yeah, I got to reach out to my buddy Andy. Shout out to Andy Tellman out there in New York, because he's always got it locked down with the fancy hats with the feathers and everything. And I need to get a hold of him. Maybe I can.
You're not allowed to wear feathers. That's the one. That's the one rule I've been told.
You can't have the feather, huh?
That's the rule.
Funny story. So I when I was living in Washington, Andy was the worship director at the church that him and I were both serving at, and we got to open for Jordan Feliz and Devin North and those guys when they were coming through, and
he's the goat of those hats.
Yeah, and he gave I think he gave Andy a feather off of one of his hats or something, and it was like something kind of surreal for a while, and I was like, oh my gosh, how come you got the feather? Where was my feather? But yeah, I've always wanted one of those hats. I just never know where to get them.
Well, I know a guy because I just spent the weekend with Chris Cleveland, Stars Go Dim, and we had a conversation about those hats specifically. And my kind response will be, I will pray for you. If that's something you're considering is one of them. I will pray for you. I'll pray for you anyway, but you're getting 2 prayers.
Oh, that's funny. Well, once again, guys, joining us right now, this is the Lunch Hour Podcast here at Victory Lutheran Church. With me today is Brandon Monson from Presence Music, and man, we have some exciting things going on. Brandon, what a blast it was getting to meet you guys at Thrivefest this summer. And I didn't hear of you guys before, but man, I remember sitting in the merch tables, and this guy who was the MC on the Smile Studio stage comes running in. He's like, Conan, you got to come out here and hear these guys. Like, these guys are fantastic. And I was thinking to myself, like, you say that about everybody,
How good could they be, really?
Right. I was like, how good could they be? Like, I've never even heard of these guys. And I pop out there, and then like I literally like my jaw like dropped to the floor. I was like, who are these guys, and why haven't I heard of them before now?
Yeah, probably mostly Xena. She's our third vocalist. She's incredible. But
I think that was. But you got a good voice too, man. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I know how to put a good team together. I'm more of like the team mom. That's what they call me. So.
Yeah, so I mean, it was so much fun, and then the best part though was getting to have our tables like right next to each other in the merch area, and then like hearing your guys' hearts behind what you're doing, and then hearing also like you guys work normal jobs, like you're not just full-time musicians yet, right?
We do. Yes. Well, I say I'm full-time music now because it is full-time time. We probably did 80, 90 days of music this year.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the year. So kind of like part-time ministry, right? Part-time pay, but full-time work. Yeah. At least the ones that I've been a part of. So, but yeah, so we're full. I just tell people I'm full-time music, full-time regular job. So I support my music habit by being a full-time business salesperson for T-Mobile. So if you're looking for anything, that would, come to me, and then that gives me more time to be spreading the gospel. So
where are you located again? Duluth, right?
Yep, I actually cover Minnesota, North Dakota. So literally, I'll be working my regular job in North Dakota, like Thursday and Friday. So we just throw it all in the hat and try to put it all together. And I've heard it said that's like work-life balance is a myth. It's just work-life harmony. Like it's never in balance. You just kind of try to keep everything harmonious. Different buckets take up more of your time in different seasons.
Right.
But it's just making it in harmony as best you can. So that is what we're doing, but it's crazy.
Right. Well, you heard it here, folks. If you're with T-Mobile, or if you're interested in switching over to T-Mobile and you live in the Duluth area, give Brandon a call. He'll hook you up.
I cover Jamestown to Duluth, everywhere in between.
Oh, you hear that? Jamestown. Our Jamestown listeners, get a hold of Brandon. Bless this man. If you're with T-Mobile.
If you have a business or you want a business.
Well, there you go. I might, who knows? I might be getting a new business license this year. Who knows?
Yo, let's go. That's good.
All right. With that being said, Presence Music. Brandon, tell us the story behind Presence Music. What led to you guys being a thing? That's
Well,
probably a loaded question.
yeah, kind of similar to One Direction. Simon Cowell actually put us together, and that's not true. So wouldn't that be wild? They're like, how come they're not that good? So my wife and I actually met. Um, she was leading. We were friends like on Facebook and Instagram, whatever. So I knew of her, but we met um, leading worship for a church retreat. And we did some stuff just as a duo. It wasn't really serious, but just camps and retreats and little stuff as a duo. As we started dating and got married, but then kind of started ramping up. I think we started leading together with some friends at a Celebrate Recovery, and you know just decided we had a cool group of people, wanted to start doing some more music together. So then I started reaching out to some camps, and I was like, what kind of places would be hiring a Christian band? So I talked to a few of the camps maybe I've attended over the years, and one of them said like, hey, we'd love to book you, but you need a band, you need a name, you need all this. So I was like, oh yeah, we definitely got that. So I had like 3 or 4 people, but I didn't really have a band necessarily, but it was kind of maybe a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I said, oh, I'll absolutely have a band for you, January 2021. So put it together. Camp went pretty good, and we just kept running from there. And we've been growing, about 30-40% year over year, just as far as, for us, it's not about streaming numbers or even who we're playing with or how big. Our prayer is just to be busy serving Jesus. So
Praise God.
our
Yeah.
our one metric is events, days doing ministry, serving Jesus, leading worship or encouraging people through music, through Christian music. So we're on a great path as far as activity, even though it's not by traditional social media or streaming numbers, maybe. So
Right. Right. Well, man, that's exciting. That's a cool story. So when you get, so it's basically you and your wife are like the core people in this group, correct? Or is it?
yes, yep. It's a large answer. So we are the two that have been there since the beginning. Leah writes all the original songs, like, I don't know, 85% of them. And I co-write like 15% or so.
And Leah's your wife, right?
She is,
Okay.
yes, yes. I call her my first wife, but she does not appreciate that when I do that. Or the starter wife, same thing. Does not smile. I still think it's funny, but so we beat the average. We're 10 years in. I will also tell people that that just meet us that we've been happily married for 5 years, and then I will pause, and then I will say 10 years total, and then they will give me a quizzical look. And she also doesn't like that. So you're feel free to steal any of those if you're listening and you're married, and if sarcasm is one of your love languages. But yes, so my wife and I are kind of the two that are at every single event for the most part. We do have a third singer that you heard at Thrivefest, so she sings with us 30-40% of the time, either opening or sometimes instead of Leah, especially when she's pregnant or having Maverick, our 1-year-old. And then we have 3 other core like instrumentalists, Meryl Miller and Jacob McCormick, get both them on guitar, and then Andrew's been on drums. So if we can finagle more people into a gig, whether it be full band or just can afford or have room for another acoustic piece or two, those are always the first people we ask. But we also have 5 or 6 substitute members, I guess, for lack of a better word, people that are in the family,
Yeah.
but are either for their schedule or other reasons just aren't available quite as much. But we have probably about 10 or 12 that play with us, and it's an honor to have so many wonderful musicians that want to serve and want to make it hard to miss out on Jesus. So,
Dude, that's awesome. That's so cool. And on this tour, this Rhythm and Revival tour that you guys are being going on, is this with the full band or is this with just a few of you guys or?
yes, both. So Jacob is solo with tracks. True is solo with tracks. He might, our drummer might be drumming with him. I'm not sure. And then we are 3-piece with tracks, but you have
Okay.
myself and my wife and Andrew on drums. So you got the top three and tracks. So that'd be full band-ish. So
You're gonna have the full band feel is what you're saying. Yeah,
yes, for
I
sure.
like
Yes.
that. That's cool.
Yep.
So, how long have you guys been like going at this roughly?
Almost, man, that seems like a long time. It's really been picking up. Um, was it April of 20? Was it just last year? Man, no, it wouldn't be April 24. So it'd be April 24. We put out Down in the River with KJ52. And it wasn't like it went crazy or anything, but it got good streaming numbers. It got put on 100 radio stations. Some of them were even like charting Billboard stations. And we're like, man, just so like you can actually put out a song and have it do decent. We should like get a manager or get a booking agent or something like that, or get a more serious producers. So things have really been picking up since then. But we've been going as Presence Music, booking gigs and stuff with a full band since January, February of 21. So just
Wow.
shy of 5 years. But I would say more seriously about the last 2 years.
And for a worship band out of the Midwest on Instagram being shy of 20,000 followers, like it's a pretty good following for the
One,
start that you guys had.
one at a time. Yeah, we're doing similar on Facebook and similar on YouTube. We're just kind of starting the TikToks. I've been starting to do a lot of TikTok dances. That's not true, but we do put out some song covers mostly.
Yeah,
I was figured I was hoping we could do some TikTok dances on Saturday, but TBD.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so we're not viral by any means, but we're growing slowly but surely. We follow every single person back if they look like they're a real person, not a bot. And we put up our QR code and say, "Hey, I'll follow you back right now." So that's one of
That's
my
awesome.
personal pet peeves is when bands have, I understand if you got like a couple 100,000 and you can't actively even manage your own Instagram because you're doing other things. But like if you're a band or a church and you have 1,000 followers, a couple thousand followers, a couple 10,000, you should be able to follow people back. That's just my personal soapbox. It's not written in red, but that's my soapbox for
Well, I
today.
mean,
So
that's a great way to connect with your audience, right? And to build a
yeah,
relationship, build rapport with them. And like you were saying earlier, like it's not about the number, it's not about the streams, it's not about the followers or the likes. It's about sharing the message of Jesus with people, and that's so cool to see that you guys are doing that.
and for us, ideally in person. I know there's people reaching through various methods, even Discord servers and online church and Minecraft, or whatever. I think that all counts. But for us, it is about reaching in person. And we love doing big festivals. We love doing bigger stuff like what's coming in December, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But
Yeah,
where we feel we're meeting a need that not everyone else in the world is trying to meet is going to small rural churches, like even significantly smaller than yours. To like go. I mean, we packed out a place with Love and the Outcome, and that's a church of 30, and we got like 60 in there, and it was packed to the gills.
that's awesome.
So it's like that's a huge win for us because these people, they're inviting friends. I got to pray for a lady that did not know Jesus. I know she didn't know Jesus. It's a lower barrier to entry than a Sunday morning service. And some of these churches that a lot of people or a lot of resources can't afford to, or don't have the resources financially, or even just to dream up something like that to do outreach. And that's something that is really, really cool for us. So
Yeah,
we love events of all sizes, and we'll do anything short of sin to reach one more person for Jesus. That's something that is really a drumbeat for us.
yeah. Well, I remember when you reached out to me about stopping here in Jamestown, and we had talked over the summer briefly, and it was like my desire was to get more musical acts coming into Jamestown outside of Thrivefest. Thrivefest, but that was a huge blessing. Don't get us wrong, but like we haven't had like that many Christian musical artists come through Jamestown like this before. I mean, we've had Jason Gray, we've had a couple other people come through every once in a while, but like as far as like big Christian music events, it's always been Fargo or Bismarck or Grand Forks
Mhm.
or like the big cities, right? And when you reached out and you're like, hey, we're trying to plan like a tour in the fall, and we would love to put Jamestown on our stop. And I was like, that'd be really fun. Let's
We're
make it
putting it on
happen.
the map. Me, Jacob Rocky, and True Serva is putting Jamestown on the map.
Yeah, and it's been so fun, like just getting to know you guys over the last couple months. Like we had
Yeah,
True
no.
Serva out, the week before Thrivefest, and that was like the first time I really got to meet him, and that was so much fun. And right there, like you were talking, like you had like 60 people. We probably had like maybe 30 kids show up at this block party thing that we put together, and like on the outside, you kind of felt, oh man, was that a flop? No, absolutely not. Like here, you had this guy just proclaiming the gospel, and you had these people walking by on the street corner. We had a bar 2 doors down, and then we had another bar on the across the street. So it was like you had people that were like poking their head outside the bar, hearing a gospel message and like what's going on. And I
That's
just thought that
amazing.
was so cool. But the thing that really piqued my interest is like you guys reached out to me. You're like, hey, like most of these artists that come through town, like you have to pay a fee to bring them in. And you guys were like, we you told me about the kind of the mission behind what you're doing, the one child program, which I think is amazing. And you guys were like, we our hope is to get about $1,500, and
For three artists, which is 500 per artist, by
right,
the way, which
right.
is
And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, we should be able to handle that easily. If we can get 100 people there, that would be, do a love offering. We could definitely recoup that. And honestly, that's a steal. Like you said,
oh,
$500 per artist, essentially. When most of the time when you're bringing in an artist, it's probably about 5,000.
oh yeah,
So,
yep.
and you guys, I would consider you guys on the same tier as some of these mainstream artists, where it's like you guys could be getting
You're too
paid
kind.
$5,000, $10,000 to go out to these places, but you're doing such an incredible ministry by going to these small rural communities that often get overlooked. Because they're in the middle of nowhere, and I came from the West Coast. I came from Washington, and there's really no such thing as a small town in Washington State. It's like it all bleeds together. But you know, when I came out here, it was just like, oh my gosh, like it's 100 miles no matter which way I go to get to
Anything.
anything remotely for entertainment. Like for King of Country's coming to Fargo, okay, we'll go there. Or Mercy Me's going to Grand Forks, was up there. That was a great concert, by the way. But
Mhm.
honestly, this is awesome, and what you guys are doing is awesome, and the message that you guys are bringing to the people. And like you said, some of them are unchurched, some of them might not even know who Jesus is, and you get an opportunity to
Love that.
pray with these people, to rub shoulders with these people. And I love it, man. I love it.
Dude, we're so excited. We got that coming up this Saturday evening. And then I don't know if you want to talk about Christmas, but and then yeah, we're formally announced for Thrive Fest next year already. So
Yeah,
we'll even come back
here we
in
are.
between, December and basically August is a long time. You can get some in April. So
Yeah.
man, I think that is now a hotbed for Christian music. Thanks to Thrive Productions and our and all the churches in the community, and I guess Presence and Jacob and True is helping the cause a little bit too. So
Yeah, amen. Well, it's perfect you brought that up, because that's exactly where we were going with this conversation. We mentioned Thrivefest 2025. If you didn't hear this already, folks, Thrivefest is coming back to Jamestown in 2026, and we have dates. I don't have them written down, but don't worry, I'll share them with you guys. But it's not too late to head over to Thrive Production Group and learn more, or you can go to thrivefest.com and find more about there as well. But Thrivefest 2026, we just saw the announcement. You guys are on the bill, so that's exciting.
I'm excited. I don't know for sure, so don't quote me, but I think it's one stage.
I believe it is.
So
Yeah, I was
we
just
we might not
chatting.
love the time slot, but if Dave's watching and Nathan, very happy to be there, even if it's 11 a.m. It might be. I'm not sure, but
I
we
might.
are.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
might be the morning. We might be having our waffles on stage, but we are going to be rocking out for Jesus alongside Ben Fuller. I think we are messengers. There's a
Yeah,
pretty
we are messengers. I think is headlining one of the
man. They're
nights.
both. I think they're probably each headlining a night. They're awesome. We've worked with what I worked with We Are Messengers. I think we played at 3 and they played at 8 at some other festival, but we provided direct support for Ben, I think 3 times, and he's awesome to work with. So very excited to work with him again.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, and then I think they put out a couple other guys too. But man,
Caboose is a legend Christian rapper. I think Adelaide's back. I really should have better. You can edit that.
Adelaide is back, I believe. I will go through, and if it's not true, this will be edited out. And if if it is true, this will just be an awkward little ad lib, and you guys can make fun of me later.
That's okay. Hey, I think I remembered pretty good off the top of my head. So
yeah. Oh, they've been just kind of shotgunning, off randomly, just random artists, and I think it's cool. I love how they've kind of just been like, hey, when we get them, we're gonna just let people know. Like, we're not gonna just withhold this information.
Yeah, fire them out. Yep, yeah. I love it. They're so great. We're doing a lot with them. We love Thrive Productions Group.
Yeah, they're so fun to work with. I'm really looking forward to doing some more work with them over the next year. We talked about Christmas. We've been hinting at that throughout this conversation. December 13th. What's happening here in Jamestown?
Yes, I should know this. No, I'm just kidding. So that is I believe, is it a different kind of Christmas, or did they change the name? I'm not sure. It is
Christmas in the Round.
Christmas in the Round. That was the old name, I think. Christmas in the Round with Aaron Schust, Christian music legend. Yes. Mark Schultz, Christian music legend. Todd Tillman, or maybe Todd Tilgman. I don't know if he's a Christian music legend yet, but he is a voice legend, and his voice is killer. And I think he's or was a pastor, so I'm sure he's going to have great stories to share as well. Probably. Kind of a Ben Fuller kind of a sound, or maybe Ben Fuller is more of a Todd Tillman kind of a sound. I don't know, but anyway. And then myself and my wife will be opening up the evening, and with some Christmas favorites. Some of it is TBD because the other artists are going to pick out their 25 favorite Christmas songs. And I think we'll be left with Good King Wenceslas and maybe I Saw Three Ships is what you might get out of us. But we're for sure going to play our new Christmas song. Who knew? Or I guess it's a year old. But we may even play both versions because we have dropped a fire new, don't laugh, Christmas rap song. Who knew, parentheses, gift wrapped, with national Christian rapper Blake Whiteley. So I might. This is breaking news. We may open with the rap version, kind of sing it, and then close with the regular version. So you heard it here first, folks.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like it's gonna be such a fun night. Aaron,
you betcha,
man. Like, he's been around. That's a guy that's been around.
He has. Yes, man. He's a legend. He is. Got, I think, man, I don't know the qualifications. I believe Dove Awards, or at least nominations. Both of them are just incredible musicians. We recorded most of our songs at ZK Productions in Jordan, Atlanta, and that same, what is his name, Mike Seamus, was a part of that studio. And in that studio is the gold or maybe platinum record and/or Dove Award for My Savior, My God, 2007. So that is a fun, you're like, where is he going with this? But yeah, so I have seen with my own eyes the gold record for My Savior, My God. And he's had many beautiful ones since. So,
man,
I would assume it's not all Christmas music. I should probably know this, right? I haven't seen a set list. We're going to probably play, I think we got 20 minutes. We're going to play 2 Christmas songs and 2 non-Christmas songs. Don't tell anybody, but I think you could sneak in some non-Christmas. And I think that's great. So, all our sweatshirts say "Found in the Herd" in it, so we got to play that one. So that's the plan.
It's gonna be so much fun to have you guys out here, and I feel blessed that we get to have you guys twice within a month.
I'm excited, but it'll be totally different set, totally different feel. So
right.
I mean, honestly, that's one of the reasons we've been so busy is we can change. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but we can change our spots quite a bit. You know, like youth band, acoustic band, festival. Whatever. I mean, I've led at a church a couple weeks ago, did only hymns. So I was like, you know what? I just want to be, I try to not have ego. My wife might say differently, but to just, if there's a need and we can serve, to just do it and serve and be, be that voice for Jesus where, to be able to kind of light ourselves on fire figuratively. And so the world can say, hey, something's burning or I see something shining bright. What's going on over there? So that is that's our heartbeat.
That's awesome, bro. I love hearing that. Hey, I gotta ask, just because it seems like you're in a really exciting season with Presence Music. What's next for
Yeah.
you guys?
What is next? Well, I guess just abstractly, it's been heating up as far as doing more stuff with larger tours and helping book those and then getting on some of those. We signed with the Line Talent Agency. Tim Robinson is awesome. They've got some big names that work with them, like Seventh Time Down, Ryan Stevenson, Loving the Outcome, Joel Vaughn, Dan Bremnes, many others. So we've been kind of working with some of those artists and then getting introduced to other artists. So all that to say, when we first started out, we were doing just spot dates with people, even if they were pretty big and cool when they come to town. But it's just because we were local and,
Yeah.
people liked us locally and connected us. But now we're getting on some tours. A lot of them I'm kind of helping book myself. But like we just did a full run with Loving the Outcome, one with Dan Bremnes. Just got off the Stars Go Dim Roses tour with three other national artists. And Stars Go Dim is killer, absolutely the most talented Christian artist I have heard in person. Ridiculous. And we're doing more of those dates. It is announced that we're going to do a full run with Ryan Stevenson, providing direct support for at least 5 days. Actually, I think 6, and more to come. So, long story short, next steps is just continue to be busy serving Jesus. I'm going to say the stages are getting a lot bigger. It's varying. We were going to play for 3,000. We played for 3,000 people this year, and I played for 20 plenty of times this year. But it just seems like who we're getting to play with and some of the connections are just continuing to grow and expand. And we'll just see where it goes. But I'm laying all the gifts that I have at the altar. I'm not as talented of a musician or a singer or definitely a songwriter as my wife, but I am a good manager and organizer and definitely a good booking agent. So that is I'm laying my gifts at the altar. We're all putting our stuff in a pile, and God's doing something beautiful with it. So
That's awesome.
It's been awesome. It's been amazing.
That's so cool, man. Well, here you guys have heard it from the man himself, Brandon Monson with Presence Music. Going to be in concert this Saturday, guys. This November 22nd. Doors are at 6. Concert starts at 6:30 to 8:30. He's going to be with True Serva and Jacob Rocky. This is a really exciting. This is a free concert, by the way, folks. We're going to be taking a free will offering. We'll want to bless these guys. We're looking to get them about $1,500, which is roughly $500 per artist. But this is going to go to support a great cause. You're going to hear all about it on Saturday. You're going to hear stories. You're going to hear great music. You're going to hear the testimony of what God can do for you this Saturday, November 22nd, here at Victory Lutheran Church in Jamestown, North Dakota. Brandon, if people want to follow up with you guys or want to get, want to follow Presence Music and learn more about what you guys are up to, how can they find you?
Very simple and wonderful shameless plug. PresenceMusicBand.com. We are Presence Music, but that was taken most places. So most of our handles or ats or whatever the kids say is Presence Music Band. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you can take what I just came up with now, the Presence Music Challenge, and follow us or message us or comment and see if we will follow you back, message you back, comment you back. There's about 99% chance that we will. So
you're to hear, folks. And we're going to have all those links down below our video and in the description as well. Give them some love. Give them a follow. Give them a like. Hit up their website. See what these guys are about.
We're not on Twitter, but
yeah, I'm not on there.
Fine. Revine me. I think that's coming back.
Vines that was the golden age. That was the golden age of the internet, I think. But
for memory,
we can talk about that another day.
Next time.
Yes, and come hang out with us on Saturday. These guys are awesome. They're so fun. Come experience what I got to experience on at Thrivefest this Saturday. And then if you can't be here this Saturday, come hit us up at on December 13th at the Ryland Fine Arts Center. If you need tickets, we have them on sale here at the church. $15. Give us a call.
It's a great deal.
I know. It's like, I think $20 cheaper. So if you want a discount, call us up here at the church. Talk with Faye, 701-251-1570, and we will hook you guys up with tickets while supplies last. Actually, I heard that I think we can get more, but don't quote me on that. I'm just going to say while supplies last.
He's not good at sales.
I'm really not. But
Thank you so much for your time, brother.
Thank you guys for watching. We will be back next Tuesday with another thought. And with that, I'm signing off. God bless you
Talk
guys.
soon. Thanks, y'all.